Growing baskets are one of my favorite additives to a garden, and it's also the biggest pain in my butt because they dry out so darn quickly, and they dry out even faster when they have this coir material as kind of the wrap or the base. But they are my favorite. I like these kind of graded ones over the plastic ones, hands down, any day. But thanks to some good old science, we can actually work against Mother Nature and make this a little bit of an oasis that doesn't just simply dry out lickety split and will be happy and healthy into the August months. Now, there are a few things. For example, there is the soil itself. There's things you can do to the basket itself. And then there's actually different watering techniques you can use to help ensure that this stays moist, full, and ginormous all year long. These baskets generally are full of plants up to here, all the way down. They're like little tunnels. So today's video, we are going to look at exactly that, what I do with these baskets to ensure they never dry out and they are happy and healthy, which is what we want when it comes to these bad boys. So, excuse me while I try to lift this. It's ginormous. Actually, I can't lift this. I have to be careful. I'm carrying a baby. I can't carry a human baby, but you know what I can hatch? An egg baby. I found actually my employee called freaking out because they had an egg or a bird swooping at them because the bird was protecting the egg and the bird was a pigeon. And animal, wildlife, whatever, said, throw said egg over the side of the building. Which is why she's my employee. I hire good people, and myself could never. I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I currently have a pigeon egg with a piece of paper towel and a piece of plastic inside my bra until I can get a kind of like an incubator thing going. I'm hot. So this is where it's living. And so I can't lift this. I gotta find a different container to do. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, completely sidetracked. Step 1, container. Step 2, coconut coir fabric thingy-majigger. Step 3, disconnecting the chains. Because every time I do this, I think to myself, I'm not disconnecting the chains. This is too much work. It's too much work. I'm not disconnecting the chains. And every time I'm like, I should have disconnected the chains because they're irritating. You know what? I'm not disconnecting the chains because those are not clip chains. Those are like ones I would have to bend and then rebend back. So that's not happening. Way too lazy for that shit. Okay, so next step is you're going to find a plastic bag. So I've got this kind of grocery bag, which these are banned in Canada. So how I got this, I do not know. And then I have just your classic garbage bag, not banned in Canada. And so you would just line the bottom of said pot. Now here's the thing. You want it to line more rather than less. And the more it lines, the better. So if you want it to line more, you need to usually rip the bag apart to ensure that it covers. You do not poke holes in the bottom. You leave the bottom of this bag completely in its entirety whole. Okay. So the bottom of the container is now full. You can see here, that is what she looks like. Can you see? That's what she looks like right there. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to grab some soil. Here's the thing. There are certain types of soil you can get. Some work better than others. You can just get a regular potting soil. Nothing wrong with that. I would never, ever, 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 ever in any capacity get a high porosity potting soil or a sunshine mix number 4, also known as a high porosity mix. The reason for this, anything well draining, high porosity, yada, 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 large particulates, all of that dries out quicker. That's why that's what it's meant to do. So it's meant to help prevent its overwatering. It's great for houseplants. It's great for containers, but it's not good for small containers. It's not good when these planters are in very intense heat. They're not good for fabric pots. They're not good for hanging baskets, coconut coir pots, that sort of thing. So you do not want anything that says that. Avoid it in its entirety. There's one soil out there. I only know of one that you can pre-buy that is completely made to withstand some drought. And that is the sunshine mix number 2, I think, or 3. I will put it here. I will clarify that right here. This is important to note, though. You can get this usually in Canada anyways, at any farm and garden that carries sunshine mixes, period. Early Farm and Garden, for anyone in Saskatchewan, is the place that you would get this. You cannot grow edible plants in this potting soil. That means if you get this potting soil you need to ensure that your pots stay with that potting soil and that potting soil is reused within pots. You do not want it to end up with your plants. The alternative to this that vegetables can be grown in is something called soil moist. So I'm going to grab that and show you exactly what that is. So this is my Ratchet AF soil moist granulars. Absorbs and releases water in soil. Indoor plants, garden, and outdoor use. It is not plant food. So there is a size chart on the back. This is probably going to be like 5 teaspoons, to be honest with you. I'm going to probably say around 5. All you do is you mix this in with the soil. This is like it's a granular. It's literally looks like sugar and it helps retain water. And let me tell you, she works good. Very well, actually. Yeah, it literally looks like sugar. That's what it reminds me of. You're going to mix that in with your potting soil evenly. And this makes a huge difference. You can get this on Amazon. You can get this usually at farm and garden centers. It's usually kind of like hidden away somewhere where people don't really know what it's for. It's meant for this exact scenario. And you pop it in. So let's do that next. And I get this off on the right foot. You want to make sure that the soil is pre-moistened. You don't want it bone dry. And you also want to make sure that you're breaking it up really nicely. The older the soil, the better. I will say that much. Because old soil tends to hold more moisture and the perlite's kind of been smashed into bits, etc. and so forth. So that is a very scientific 1.5 teaspoons. No questions asked. Soil chemistry teachers would be so proud of me. They'd be like, yeah, that's how much has changed with that one. A little bit. Shrink up that soil porosity. Micropore space. Fine materials only. Okay, let's hang this bad boy. It's not light. So next step is actually planting this thing. If you know you're going to be camping lots, vacationing lots, not going to be home, maybe you just don't want to water too much, don't pack this full. Don't overpack it. Just put enough in it for it to look pretty. These overstuffed pots that you get for $100 from the greenhouse, they're going to look really ugly come August if you do not water them religiously. And the last thing you can do, and I have done in the past, is putting some sort of slow release water system in place to ensure that the entire water system is getting saturated. Then I'll show you an image of what that looks like because I am going to have to put my egg down, take it out of that pot because I know it's in that pot. I have dug out the things. So I've got 2 of these in there. I literally cross them like this. And then red-green, that might be just a Canadian reference there, red-green, 2-liter pop bottles to the ends. And then it just slowly saturates through over time. And there's a whole bunch of holes kind of like all along the side of it here. You can see them kind of drilled out. And that just goes to the bottom of the basket. Super simple. This one's clearly drunk. But essentially, that allows for even water distribution. And it ensures that all spaces within that are watered. We never want these baskets to dry out. They dry out, soil becomes hydrophobic, and things become more difficult to actually resaturate. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. The other key here is you don't want to fill it all the way to the top. The more of a lip you leave, the better. The reason being is because you can flood water this. That means you're going to literally fill it with water to here, let that soak down. When you're done watering this, it should literally be just cruising out the bottom of this pot. That is very important to ensure you have completely properly watered this bad boy. So I know this trick I've had for years and years now, but it is my grandma's trick, the whole bag trick. It's a game changer. I've grown up on that bag trick. So give it a shot. Let me know in the comments down below if you believe it worked for you or if it's just something you don't want to do because you don't like plastics. And I will talk to you guys next time.